Ora então, malta, sejam muito bem-vindos aqui a mais uma React Weekend. Desta vez iremos estar a reagir ao resto das cinematics que tinha começado a ver no episódio de ontem. Para quem ainda não viu, pode sempre assistir ao vídeo que lancei ontem, porque convém, porque a partir de agora vamos entrar na cinematics 6, 7, 8, 9 e 10. Então, se vocês quiserem ver a cinematic 1, 2, 3, 4 e 5, vão ao vídeo que eu lancei ontem, pois está lá essas mesmas cinematics. Mas vamos estar a reagir às restantes cinematics de Valorant. Mas já sabem, se vocês me querem aconselhar alguma coisa para eu reagir, podem sempre comentar aqui em baixo o que vocês querem que eu comente ou que eu reaja aqui para a React Weekend. Então, antes de nós avançarmos para os restantes cinematics de Valorant, vou só pedir uma coisa: deixem o vosso like, subscrevam-se e ativem o sininho, que assim nunca irão perder notificação de qualquer vídeo que eu lance, pois este ano, em 2026, irei estar a lançar vídeos quase todos os dias, com apenas um dia de descanso, sendo atualmente a sexta-feira, aqui no mês de janeiro. No mês de fevereiro vai haver um dia em que não vai sair numa quinta, mas vai sair numa sexta. Mas ainda só estamos em janeiro, ainda falta muito, ok? Então vamos logo avançar para reassistir aos restantes cinematics de Valorant. Ok, agora estamos na Índia. Lembrando, eu já não jogo há tanto tempo Valorant, que basicamente eu já me esqueci de alguns agentes novos. Eu sei que a Neon, da cinematic anterior, eu já me tinha esquecido do nome dela, porém, por conta de jogar mais, digamos assim, League of Legends do que Valorant, eu sei que a Neon é como se fosse uma irmã afastada da Zeri, porque são idênticas. Por isso é que eu disse Zeri, porque não me lembrava do nome. Na Turquia, por exemplo, aqui eu sei que é Fade, acho eu. Woman. Vou retirar o som porque acho que isto tem. Isto é uma música. Ou meter só mais baixo. Porque não? A Sejam está aqui a praticar. O Woman ali deve-se ter atrapalhado, era para acertar na folha, mas... Acho engraçado que eles a treinar é contra robôs, ok? Mas nesta cena aqui, a Sage decapita o robô que ainda estava a sobreviver e saiu sangue. Mas ok. Este acho que é o mapa Lotus, I guess.
I think the cinematic for episode 6 is probably my favorite cinematic. Just the overall animation, the music, and the weight of the emotions that go
Bem
into the
parecia que era
cinematic are so
música.
well made. This cinematic takes place in multiple locations, one of them being the brand new map Lotus at the time, which is also located on Omega Earth. This time we have Harbor, the new agent at the time, tag teaming with Astra to take a look
Yeah.
at this new map that they found, which is booming with.
Bem parecia que eu me lembrava. Atenção, eu sei o que cada um faz, só que nomes é impossível. Eu sei que o Ultimate da Astra é a divisão do mapa e o Arbor funciona com cenas de água. Isso eu sei. Só que lembrar-me dos nomes é que.
Power and energy. This cinematic may be a bit confusing, so I want to make sure I note this right now. The only two Alpha Earth agents in the cinematic are Astra and Harbor. Every other agent that we see are all Valorant Legion agents from Omega Earth because the cinematic takes place on their planet and in their universe. As Harbor and Astra infiltrate their world, Fate also discovers the location of the new map Lotus, and we get a shot of Omen trimming his plant back at Legion headquarters as Sage walks in to get her weapon and go training. Another really interesting detail here that differentiates the Valorant protocol from Valorant Legion is that the agents on Valorant Legion did not join in the same order as those on the protocol. In this shot, we can see that the lockers are numbered 6, 7, 9, and the one Sage opens is probably 10. Whereas in the Valorant protocol, Sage is number 7 and Jet is number 10. But in the Valorant Legion, it looks like the order is different. And they don't even have a locker for Agent 8 at all, so it looks like this agent might not even exist in this universe. As Sage begins her training, we get to see Jet, Raze, and KJ enjoying some time in Korea. And it showcases here that the agents on Omega Earth, while seen as enemies and bad people, do have their own normal lives and don't seem to be that bad at all. It even looks like Raze and Killjoy are canon on Omega Earth as well, just like they are on Alpha Earth. As the cinematic progresses, we get more shots of Sage practicing against the bots, Omen trimming his plant, and the three in Korea enjoying their meal. All while Fade gets the info that she needed from the nightclub in Turkey and escapes while Harbor and Astra continue to move into the map Lotus. What I really love about this cinematic the most is the connection between Omen and Sage. As Sage continues practicing, she gets injured by the bots when she gets shot, and Omen actually senses this when he stops and looks back at the same time. And that's where he gets up and goes to help Sage with one of the coolest animations of his smokes that I've ever seen. And this whole time, I think it's really easy to notice that Sage seems to be really on edge and almost like she's in a state of rage. On Alpha Earth, we always hear Sage as really gentle, polite, and kind with how she talks and interacts with the other agents. I don't think we've actually seen her in a proper battle or practice like this either. But on Omega Earth, we can see that Omega Sage is really giving it her all, and she has a lot of emotions that she's releasing. Right now, it's not too clear why she has all this tension built up on this version of Sage, but I do have some theories and have explained it a bit on my lore video on Sage, which I do recommend you guys check out. When she pulls out her knife here to kill the last robot, she even scared Omen, which just goes to show how her aggression is really scary, and she must have some sort of darker backstory that we currently don't know of. The cinematic then closes off with the Valorant Legion agents being alerted of the two Alpha Earth agents that have entered their planet, and they gather together and confront them on Lotus. Overall, a really emotionally heavy cinematic with a lot of story progression as well, but I just really love the dynamic between Sage and Omen throughout this entire thing.
Ou seja, eu acho que quase todos os agentes têm algum passado obscuro, principalmente aqueles que sorriem mais. Por exemplo, como a Sage, caso. Mas é como eu digo, não sabendo muito bem a lore de cada um, não consigo dizer nada. Eu dito, não consigo ter opinião em relação a isso. Mas vamos continuar para a sétima cinematic chamada Unmade. Por exemplo, aqui, se nesta cinematic for demonstrada aquela agente loira de cabelo curtinho, eu sei que é Deadlock, porque eu ainda cheguei a jogar com a Deadlock, em que o ultimate é prender numa teia de aranha e tudo mais. Atenção, acho que acertei no nome. Vamos ver. É Deadlock, acho eu.
Oppdraget gjelder fortsatt. Tak inn. You too.
Won't take long to prep the crate to travel. They're pretty anxious to get this thing. Stateside.
Maybe I go first, Tuffen. You know, just in case.
Ratinho.
You okay?
Yeah. I just don't like rats.
How do you feel about bears?
Verdade, agora que estou aqui a pensar na pergunta que ela fez, se tu tens medo de ratos, como é que tu te sentirias ao estar frente a frente com um urso? Estranho.
Focus. And you, stay close.
Wait. Where's the...
Anna,
Ah,
move! Kom igen! Vis meg det stygge trynet ditt!
está atrás de ti. Morreram todos exceto ela. E ainda ficou sem um braço. Eu sabia que era a deadlock. Ah, foi assim. Então foi assim que ela ganhou o braço robótico.
Yes, it is exactly to your specifications.
Perfekt.
You two really need to get along.
You don't know what they're capable of. When
O
you
Pokémon do Gecko.
The
O...
Unmade cinematic comes after Gecko and Deadlock were released as agents, and it builds on the lore story of Radivores, which are these creatures that have been fused with Radianite and have certain powers. Radivore
Okay.
lore was first properly introduced with the release of Gecko, but the cinematic also covers some other important aspects. It starts with Deadlock at the entrance of a facility with these two other women who are said to be her sisters, as well as this guy in the background who is a Kingdom Corporation scientist. After entering the facility, they find that the entire place is running on reserve power, and that one of the containers housing a Radivore has been broken, and whatever creature that it was holding has escaped. As this mysterious creature continues roaming around and making noise attacking them, we then find out that the creature is a Radivore bear, or Radabear. Deadlock then manages to lure and trap the Radabear, but before she could take it out, the bear half escapes and latches onto her left arm. And after a little bit of struggle, Deadlock decided that she needs to make a sacrifice in order to kill the creature, so she fully activated the machine, causing the Radabear to disintegrate along with her arm that it was holding onto. And a nice detail was how when the bear bit into her arm, she got these streaks along her skin which went up to her face as well, similar to how Gecko also has them, which indicates that these agents are somehow fused with these Radivores in some sort of way. In Gecko's case, he can actually understand and speak with his Radivores that he's fused with like this. The cinematic then continues with a shot of Deadlock walking across the room with her arm severed, as she comes across the Kingdom scientist who has died in the altercation just before she passes out. She then wakes up at Valorant headquarters where Killjoy has made her a new robotic arm, which also serves as a weapon for her to use, and Deadlock shows some aggression towards Wingman, pointing out her trauma and distrust towards Radivores. It's after this episode cinematic where we then learn more about Project Landfall, and the team break into the map Sunset where the lore on Radivores progress further. I do have a separate video covering the entire lore on Radivores, so make sure you guys check that out too if you're interested in learning about them. That's my last video plug, I promise.
É o última plug de outro vídeo. Eu acho que não. Eu acho que ainda vai haver nestas últimas cinemáticas. Vamos para a cinemática número 8. Estamos em Marrocos. Ok, Cypher, com a sua camarazinha e o fio. E a usar o ultimate.
My friend has questions for the boss, and you're going to tell us where to find him.
Hi, so.
Hi, all. What we got?
This is going to be fun.
Indonésia. O drone do Sova. Para obter informação.
We scurried up to the penthouse. It's more fun when they run, isn't it? To
Agora aparece o Woman. Quem nunca?
Nice to see you again.
Huh.
Tell me about Shroud's step. Straight to the point. Always was your style. Sorry. We cannot have you vanishing again. Ghost. Something seems right. I'm getting interference.
Heading to a new position.
Shrouded step was a simple directive. Kill. You were our most talented asset. Who better to safeguard our secrets? To keep the discovery of Radianite from a world that wasn't ready.
Ou seja, o Woman foi criado em laboratório?
Imagine our surprise when we realized who you were. And that you became one of them. Tell me, Omen, what hurts more? Being ripped apart by this machine, or knowing your greatest failure? Now hold your leash.
Cypher, shut me down.
Give me a moment. Time to undo that mistake.
We're out of time. Nowhere to run. No.
Scatter.
Omen, did you get what you came for?
No.
Viper wants a full report.
I will deliver it personally. This was fun.
The Reckoning cinematic in episode 8
Cypher, define o que é divertido para ti. Porque eu acho que para o
was
Woman não
probably
foi.
one of the most important cinematics, as it was a huge turning point in the lore story of Omen, which is probably the most popular lore story amongst all the agents. It takes place after Iso joined the Valorant protocol, as he had planned to kill Omen himself after receiving orders from the Scions of Hourglass to do so. But after a change of heart, he then turned on the Scions and decided to work with the protocol instead, and as a way to prove his loyalty, he helps the team locate one of the leaders of the organization to take him out. After Cypher and Iso obtain the location of one of the Hourglass bases from the leader of this group that seem to be tied in with the Scions, they gather a team and go to Jakarta, Indonesia, where the rest of the cinematic takes place. Omen enters a tower by himself with Sova and Cypher doing recon for him. And we also get to see Omen using the Outlaw, which was just being introduced into the game at the time. We got some pretty great action scenes with Omen fighting the Scions, and he finally made it up to the tower where one of the leaders were stationed, this guy here who used to be the boss of both Omen and ISO. After Omen broke through the room and got a hold of this guy, before he could do anything, he flipped his lighter switch and caught Omen in a beam of energy which seemed to be anti-radianite or something. As Omen was basically being ripped apart by this machine, he began to regain some of his memories, while the leader also spoke to him about his past. It was revealed that Omen was employed by the Scions of Hourglass as an assassin, as one of his targets was Viper, who was a kingdom scientist back then. When Omen tried to kill Viper, she fought back and managed to spill a vial of her snakebite poison onto his face and trap him inside a chamber. She then proceeded to activate this chamber, which tore Omen apart and changed him from a human to a phantom. The Hourglass leader also noted that Omen was one of the strongest assets to the Scions, and he safeguarded all of their secrets. Secrets which he now cannot remember, but if he does, he would probably be able to take down the entire organization. Before Omen was killed, Sova managed to save him and release him from the machine, after which Omen tackled the leader through the window, dropping him down and killing him. Now, we don't actually see the leader hit the ground in the cinematic, so it's safe to say that there is a chance he could have survived as well. And I really love the detail here when Omen teleports back to the ledge, and he's given the appearance of a human for a slight moment, before going back to his phantom form. The cinematic then ends with Omen returning to the aircraft, shaken by the memories he just regained and sounding angry at Viper. And the lore that came after the cinematic is a whole bunch of drama between Omen and Viper and the protocol itself, which is really interesting too, but all that can be found in my other videos.
Cinematic 9.
미안. 오늘은 어묵 남은 게 없네.
Música, não.
Think Brimstone's running drills again?
That, or he forgot his password.
That's not possible, right?
This is what we've trained for, people. Omega incursion.
Where?
Everywhere.
The old man laid out the plan. Now all we gotta do is show them how to do it with style.
Hold them to their grave!
Música.
Be a hero, didn't you?
Só mete mais baixo.
She's mine.
Alright, agents. Let's make them regret ever stepping foot onto our Earth.
It's about time. Let's finish this.
After the Reckoning cinematic in episode 8, we didn't really get any more episode cinematics like those, which is pretty disappointing because of how good they were and how much lore they would bring to the game. But in episode 9, we did get a separate cinematic that wasn't an agent reveal, but it did have some lore to it. The cinematic is titled Incursions, and it was made to announce or celebrate the launch of Valorant on console. It kicks off showing Jet throwing out the trash behind a restaurant where she works at in Korea, just as she is attacked by another person, only to then wake up as she was dreaming, but it was a real memory as she still did have the scar on her shoulder from when she got shot. As she got in the elevator with a few other agents, they enter a control room with Killjoy and Brimstone where alarms go off on an Omega incursion happening. Basically, the alarms were telling the protocol that there were agents from Omega Earth who had yet again come to Alpha Earth, probably to steal more Radianite. And this time it's a whole bunch of agents from Valorant Legion attacking multiple areas around the world at the same time. I feel like this part may just be tied into how the console version of the game is being launched around the world, where Alpha Earth are the PC players and the Omega Earth incursion represents console players now joining in. But either way, we get a lot of action scenes from the agents as Chamber fails to defuse the spike in time, causing it to detonate as well. And the cinematic ends in a pretty cool way as Alpha Jet finally confronts Omega Jet, who was the person who had shot her back in Korea, which she had the memory about. There wasn't much new lore present in the cinematic other than a larger scale infiltration by Omega Earth, but overall, the cinematic was more centered around action and fighting rather than the lore story of the game.
Okay. Vamos ver se. Ok. O corredor parece tipo quando estamos a dar unboxing ou a abrir packs do FIFA. Quando é walkout ou algo do género. Ok, isso tem mesmo música. Não quero arriscar, como é lógico. Mas parece que aqui estão todos a divertirem-se. Será que esta cinemática é comemorar o lançamento de Valorant? Iremos ver. Já apareceu ali os dois novos agentes. E um deles é o Tejo.
El Parte está listo.
Episode 10 came out with a lot of updates to the game, and one of them being a new system for episodes and acts, as episodes now span the entire year, so they will be referred to as V25 for the year 2025, and then V26 for the following year, and so on. Again, we didn't get a cinematic trailer specifically dedicated to this new episode like the previous ones, but the kickoff trailer for this new episode did have a lot of lore to it. The cinematic shows a mysterious person walking through a dark hallway, while at the same time showing scenes of various agents interacting with one another. We have a bunch of duelists having a party at Gecko's mom's place, Clove and Killjoy at a club, and Vice and Omen just chilling playing video games together. It continues with the agents getting called in to defend against intruders as we get glimpses of the person who's walking down the hallway, which is the new agent Teiko at the time. There's also several teasers of the new agent Wele as well scattered throughout this trailer, which many missed initially because it is the first time we got two new agents being teased in one cinematic. Also, a side note, these white suited soldiers are new and they aren't the typical Atlas soldiers that we've been seeing from Omega Earth, so we may be dealing with a new enemy down the road. This scene of Brimstone's ultimate is actually part of Whaley's reveal trailer, which comes later, but it's cool that they added it here instead, which kind of shows that these two agents are being revealed rather close together. And this scene of these new soldiers standing in front of this teleporter is important as well, because we can see the Kingdom Industries logo in the background, so we know that they're from Omega Earth and connected to them in some sort of way. And that's pretty much it for this cinematic trailer. It mostly touches on lore with Tejo and a few other teasers on Waylay as well. I really hope Riot goes back to making complete episode cinematics like they used to, because those actually felt like mini movies and they had so much story to them. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I have a lot more larger compilation videos like this planned, so if you do enjoy them, please let me know. Make sure you drop...
E agora irei fazer o que vocês deveriam ter feito já. Like. Mas já, malta, vamos ficar por aqui nesta React Weekend, ao finalizar de assistir todas as cinemáticas de Valorant. Já sabem, se vocês quiserem me recomendar alguma coisa para assistir aqui para a React Weekend, podem sempre comentar aqui em baixo o que vocês quiserem. Não se esqueçam, deixem o vosso like para apoiarem se vocês gostam deste conteúdo aqui para a React Weekend. Não se esqueçam, subscrevam-se e ativem o sininho das notificações para não pararem de receber notificação de quando irá sair um próximo vídeo, porque em 2026 irei lançar vídeos quase todos os dias, então de certeza absoluta que vocês não querem não assistir ao conteúdo que irei estar a lançar, ok? Então é isso, malta, espero muito que vocês tenham gostado da React Weekend. Vemo-nos na próxima semana com mais React Weekend.